cozy. Stampede, because we're doing a chit chat style video. I think some of you like these, you know. I do a lot of these on my other channel, which is now my primary channel. But I'm gonna talk to the Stampede today because y'all have been there from the start. And you know, I was very restless, very indecisive, but now I have truly nestled into my identity as a luxurious, aspiring retiree. Listen, this is shocking. I have been in Miami for exactly 1 year. That means I have stayed still, okay? Most of that early 20s restlessness is gone. I'm growing basil. I got a man. Am I supposed to have a baby or something? Like, I'm making permanent life decisions. This is crazy. It's just the late 20s. I mean, I am watching Scandal in my robe, okay? This lifestyle is great. I am not complaining. But sometimes I'm just hyper aware and I'm like, oh. And I say, ooh, because suddenly in those moments, I'm aware that I'm getting older. For example, you know that you're aging when bread making is your idea of a wild Saturday night. Some of you have been here a very long time, back when I started doing crazy wig reviews in that childhood bedroom with the hand chair. Listen, I turned 29 this year. 29, like where did all the time go? You know, while I never felt more happy and sure of myself, sometimes I find myself kind of like happy mourning my past life stages. Like I do not want to go back. You could not pay me to redo the early 20s again, but I'm just saying, I'm realizing that life is flying by. I mean, years ago, I was a part of like 3 different massive friend groups. And I like hung out with all these different people. Man, I was busy. I had a fake ID. I had a novelty ID. And I was going to these parties at USC. And I was doing all this stuff. And now I get text messages from Verizon saying my bill is due. The late 20s are a weird time because you start caring less about what others think and more about what you really need. And what I really need is like spicy, crispy tuna rice, okay, tiramisu, peace and quiet. And again, I used to have this massive social life, but my personality kind of just mellowed out. I'm still extroverted, but I am so content with just having, you know, one good friend versus tons of fake friends. You know, we all have had that friend who just reaches out when they have a crisis or they just want to complain about their man or something. I am so happy to have peace and no problems. And I really wanted to get this message out there because I think on social media, it seems like everybody has a girl group or everyone just, their lives seem a lot more social than they really are. But trust me, in that massive girl group, people probably hate each other. You know, they're preying on their downfall or something. You don't need all that. You know, just watch me on YouTube. You know, I could be your vicarious friend, you know. Yeah. I think society likes to demonize women who are somewhat selfish and we know what we want and need. And I'm telling you guys right now, I don't want new friends. I don't need friends. They disappoint me. Like, you know that video, that is me. I love being home. I love cooking my own food. I make a lot of things from scratch. I don't need to be outside. I am very sensitive now to my time being wasted as well in any way, shape, or form. Again, I used to have tons of friends and I was on social media and I'm like, wow, at my wedding, I'm gonna have 1 bridesmaid, but that's okay, that's realistic because sure, I can go out on Bumble BFF and try to make a bunch of friends and do small talk, which is the #1 thing I hate in this world. I hate small talk. I can just put myself out there and do all this stuff just to like prove to other people, but I don't. This is the late 20s, baby. I like being right here with my home goods pillows. I have a stress-free life. I am pampered, I am spoiled. I spoiled myself too. I chose this life of independence and you can't take that away from me. To my younger Stampede students, this is the place where you want to be at mentally, where you can afford to say no, and you're happy with that. You don't care what other people think, you know? For example, I won't even do stressful sponsorships because most of them don't even fit my brand, you know? Oh, it's easy money. If I was an influencer, I would just say yes to everything. No, because in the past, I have let companies steamroll over my creativity for a check, okay? And in the end, it just wasn't even authentic. Like, was it worth it? You know, maybe in the moment, sure, but no, it's not in the long run because we mature and then you make changes to your personal brand. I just want you all to grow with me and be inspired, well-dressed, living by the beach, and not depressed. And that is why BetterHelp is the sponsor of this video. BetterHelp makes it easy to remain confident when entering a new era in your life. You'll fill out a questionnaire and you'll match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. Oh, and BetterHelp is completely online, making it super convenient for my fellow homebody bakers. Connect with a therapist from a diverse network of 30,000 plus licensed professionals with a wide range of specialties and backgrounds. If it's not a right fit, you can easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. They carefully make sure that therapists on the platform are well qualified, and the customer support team is there to help you if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Start any day of the year with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description box or go to betterhelp.com/stamps and get 10% off your first month of therapy. All right, I'm bringing this in closer. By the way, this video is going to be sort of messy and unorganized, but you know what that sounds like? The late 20s. So we're just gonna roll with it. I did not prepare this video. I think it's more fun that way because I'm forced to just be creative and be confident with what I'm saying. So, Stampede. This video may not help you solve all your problems, but I think it will kickstart something in you to just roll with it, okay? That is the advice that I have to give to you. Because if you have anxiety, or if you are an overthinker, the late 20s are a mess, because that anxious part of your brain wants you to have control over everything. And how could you have control over something as chaotic and crazy as the late 20s? Where nothing makes sense. Like, for me, the late 20s are great, but it's because I figured out what I wanted to do, and like I got lucky with the timing and everything on YouTube early on. So again, like, as someone who kind of figured it out a little bit earlier, this is what I have to say to you, okay? I believe I'm saying this word right. Ikigai. Ikigai. I-K-I-G-A-I. Ikigai. Hopefully I'm saying that right. A Japanese concept that means a reason for being. So the number one thing that we all feel is, we don't know what our purpose is. Are we doing the right thing? Blah, blah, blah. First of all, you need Jesus, okay? You find what you love, what the world needs, what you can get paid for, and what you're good at. So let's say my ikigais out loud, okay? What you love, money. What the world needs, me. And humor, what you can get paid for, humor. What you're good at, being me. So that's how I decided that I should be paid for being cute and charismatic. Now, other people will tell you that's crazy, that's a terrible career choice, but is it? Because I'm sitting here in the middle of the day making a video helping other people help themselves, and we're all helping each other in the comment section. So I feel like I'm kind of like a big sister, you know? Try to be paid to be a big sister for a living. I don't know. This is not career direction, but I'm just saying that by figuring out exactly that, I literally looked at this Venn diagram before I started my channel, and I said, okay, what do you love outside of that? I said money as a joke. What do I love? Baking, okay? I love being a service to others. I really enjoyed being a server. I enjoyed, you know, being customer service. The world needs more of that, okay? What can you get paid for? Literally customer service. What are you good at? Making other people feel special. You make me feel special. Like, literally. So write that down. It says satisfaction, but feeling of usefulness, delight and fullness, but, you know, not exactly wealth. So take the money out of it. So that should help you. Let's start there, okay? Let me close my laptop now. Now, as for the emotional part of the late 20s, because that's the practical part, okay? How are you gonna make your money? Number two, this one's tough because we all have some sort of trauma. Well, maybe, most of us. I have the mother wound, okay? I talked about this on TikTok. It was not easy for me to do so, by the way, so thank you all for engaging with that. It was very vulnerable. Clearly, I was fed up, and I decided I'm not gonna pour any more energy into this relationship. I will never be loved the way that I deserve to be loved by my parent. That is the truth. Other people will gaslight you for saying this out loud. We have been told, you know, just stay invisible, stay silent if you have been a victim of a narcissistic relationship, emotionally abusive, whatever that is. So again, you already have to figure out the ikigai diagram, and then you have to figure out your own little like quirks from your childhood, the things that are bothering you today, and you have to, you know, figure out where you want to live and all that. So ikigai, job, emotional state, mental health. I had to do the hardest thing, which is to literally emotionally distance myself from caring about this relationship because it's never going to be healthy. I, love this parent I'm talking about. I really do. I have done the work. We all have, all of us young people, to understand their generation. I forgive them for their mistakes. I understand that they didn't have the resources that we have today. They didn't even know about things like, postpartum depression, for example. Like, they didn't know about a lot, okay? But at the same time, it is exhausting when you have to parent your parent and beg and cry for an apology that you're just not gonna get. So I had to kind of, I guess, like, just mentally just let go of it. I don't know. Again, this video is messy and unorganized. I actually don't have a solution. Usually in every video I have a solution to something because I'm doing a teaching style video, but in this one, I'm just talking openly about the late 20s. You can figure out what it is you want to do, at least for right now. But you can't really solve all your childhood issues, but we can just openly sit on our couch and talk about how it affects us as adults. For me, having a narcissistic, abusive parent who denies everything and convinces the world that they're perfect, it made me kind of be what's the word I'm looking for? It made me feel like a nuisance to others because I can't go to this person and say, I felt this way today. I feel emotional about this. And, that hurt my feelings. What you did really hurt me. And then you're told, oh, that hurt you? You know what I went through in 1927? Like, you know what I did? Oh, you're in pain today? Imagine what I went through. And then you're told, when you want to talk about something, I can't handle this right now. I don't have time for this. We're gaslit our entire lives. So to overcome that, I'm proud of you. The sun is setting here in Miami, so I need to wrap up this very unorganized rant. But let me know if you're liking it. Comment below. Okay, maybe I'll do another one of these. Something that rubbed me the wrong way about the late 20s / almost 30s era is how people look down on those who don't have everything together. Meaning, it is totally acceptable when you're working like a silly little fun job when you're in high school. It's like, oh, you have time, and let's say you haven't found, a girlfriend yet. There are people who are just late bloomers, and they're like, oh, that's fine. Like, young man, you have time to find someone, they mean like now. And, you just don't have it figured out yet. But all of a sudden, when you hit 30, you're looked at as like left behind if you haven't got it all together. I don't feel this way about people. Thank goodness. I don't feel this way. I've never felt this way. And it's probably because I work an unusual job. So I do get judgment from random people who just ask. I just make up different jobs each time, by the way, for the fun of it. I'm like, I'm a mortician. Like, people don't need to know my business. But when I do open up to people, I lived in Boston particularly, and said, oh, I create content for a living, and I made more than them. They hated it. They were like, but what are you actually gonna do? But like, what's your actual job after that? And I'm like, bold of you to assume I wanna work. There are a lot of negative videos like this out there talking about, oh, I feel like nothing's new and fresh anymore, and it just seems like a downward spiral, and I don't get it, and I have no clue where I'm going in my career. Again, I get that. I can validate you all day long, but I want to just have a more positive take on it. Your career, you are not your career, okay? You're not your career. Two gorgeous, gorgeous girls should have very unserious careers. Like I said on my video, Unsenpai Stamps, go check it out. Okay, number 3, we have so much life ahead of us. We do. Again, like, I'm 28, I'm just like you. But because there are so many people I talk to, like right here in our building in Miami, who are older, and I speak to women who are just living that life. Like, there are so many different ways to also live your life. Like, again, sure, I'm Miss Christian Girly. I believe in live, laugh, love. I want to have like a white picket fence and everything. But I respect my neighbor down the hallway. She's like 40 something, beautiful condo, okay? She's fully self-made. She's got no kids, no man, and she's happy. And I think that we just need to, maybe just be on social media more with these different types of lives like hers, because I think, especially from living in Dallas, if the guys there met that woman, they would think there's something wrong with her. They would say like, oof, like, why don't you have a kid? Why don't you have a man? It's like, believe it or not, some people just choose to be child-free. I can't wait for the 30s. Whoever said the 20s are the best years of your life is a damn lie. Who said that? Like, who said that? You're a liar. I'll finally end this video about the friendship discussion because I myself went through like two of these friendship breakups. They weren't really a breakup though. One of them was a proper breakup where I'm like, you embarrassed me at my birthday party. Your behavior is asinine. You act like a child. I'm done with you. The end. It was harsh, but it needed to be said because this person was just being really toxic to themselves, self-sabotaging. And I'm like, at this point, I can't help you anymore. And I feel awkward when you're always helping me, but I can't really help you because you don't want to help yourself. And it's just toxic. But the other type of friendship breakup is more painful when you're just like, what happened to us? Well, didn't we used to have so much fun? And then you realize you're not really making any new memories because when you meet up and you're hanging out and you're constantly talking about the old memories that you made in the past. And neither of you did anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You became this person became that person. But it's so hard because you're like, oh, we used to have so much fun and what happened? And I don't know. I think if you're really diligent, you can maintain friendships. Like I hang out with my friend Camden, who I just saw in California. Actually, yes, luxury living. We have chicken stars. Camden has ranch. I have luxury bold barbecue. We're in the Mercedes. I posted a picture of us on TikTok. We can catch up like no time has passed. So can most of my gymnastics friends from that day. And we just respect each other, even though, you know, most of us are at different life stages. You know, some of us are living on this side of the country, some are there. And because we really respect each other at the core root. And neither of us are jealous of each other or bitter or comparing ourselves. And we can talk openly, but like it's so rare to meet friends like that have great self-esteem and are genuinely happy for you as they're working out their own thing as well. Like, I wish it was just easier to meet people like that. And I don't know if it has to do with social media nowadays or people being closed off. And yeah, I don't know. I think so many of us have just been burned that we're not even open to making new friends anymore. But as for the present day right now, I am so happy. Again, you could tell I'm happy too because I'm hardly posting. And again, years ago, that would mean something different. That would mean that something's wrong because I was busy and I needed to post to make money. But right now, I'm posting this as an update just to say, this is what it looks like when you're at peace. And again, it was really confusing to get here. I had to do this ridiculous job. Like, can you imagine what it's like for me to wake up, you know, at least for the past few years, realizing YouTube can technically go away overnight and putting my life in the hands of the algorithm. I lived alone for years before I got to this point. Like, I really was living life on risk mode. But if I didn't do that, if I didn't commit to it, I wouldn't be so happy, I think. I think I would have been very unhappy if I had just settled with the first job given to me and never moved somewhere new in my 20s. I think I wouldn't be as happy. So that's my takeaway advice. Try to move somewhere new, even if it's just a different city in your state. If you can, go get some cool girl roommates. Again, don't do what I did on Craigslist in New York. And try to find things that you're passionate about. Not everything needs to become your income, but I love cooking now. Baking and cooking. Oh, this is the last thing here. So this is a planner. I would open it, but there might be some sensitive information like passwords written down. So let me go to a month that's empty. And if you wrote out a goal at the start of the month and then crossed it off, I mean old school pen and paper, you will be so much happier. Let me just make sure there's nothing here. I write a script, go to my annual physical, do this, do that. The late 20s feel like I said, a jumbled pan of scrambled eggs or some massive salad. But then when I break it down day by day, it makes it feel like I'm not wasting my time. Because people always say in these videos, I feel like I wasted my 20s doing this and that. Yeah, because you're overthinking. You're always overthinking. So if you just break it down, compartmentalize, whatever it is, all the stuff, then the week goes by and you're like, wow, I'm so grateful. I survived to the next week. God has put a roof over my head still. I have food, I have water, the basil plant is still alive. You have so much to be grateful for if you just look up and just look around you and be grateful instead of worrying about all these things you can't control. The end, class. That is all I have today for my rant.